Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there, welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. So this was our Patreon exclusive yesterday, which followed up on a Patreon exclusive from a couple of days ago. We're doing some deep dives and we're getting some info regarding perhaps one of the timelines that we may be facing in the very, very near future. Again, you can join us on Patreon for as little as $1 a month, actually 90 cents when you pay for a year in advance. And again, we definitely want to thank you guys for your support. You make it possible to dedicate so much time to the videos.
Indeed, and thank you.
Absolutely. So I find it very, very interesting to see all the interactions going on between Vice President Elon, world leader Elon, or I don't know. What title would you give Elon Musk? He's calling for UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer to perhaps be sentenced to prison. Well, I mean, if you want to be, just and accurate, if you're starting a laundry list of politicians, maybe you should just, see if you could find any that shouldn't be.
I can agree with that.
That might take less time. So, do you agree? There's a lot coming out right now. I found this really curious. Elon is saying America should liberate the people of Britain from their tyrannical government. 62.4% said yes, 37.6% said no. Again, I think why just stop there? Because ultimately all the governments are tyrannical when we really look at it. Don't just stop there. The whole system that we have put in place is one system. That's the ultimate reality. And the British legal system is not serving its people. Well, none of the systems are really serving their people. So you could see Elon's definitely jumping into the political side of things more than ever. Meanwhile, Justin Trudeau is expected to announce resignation before the National Caucus meeting Wednesday. As it says here, say hello to your 51st state. It's interesting. Canada and Greenland, as part of the U.S., the only thing that's missing is Mexico, and you would have that North American Union that was spoken of going way back to like the 80s, perhaps even before that. Proceed to check out. Isn't that interesting? Canada, it was mind-blowing. I was looking at some stats, and we know so many Canadians, so many of our family members are in fact Canadians, and my gosh, they've had it tough. It was one of the toughest places to be. Obviously, 2020 to now, with everything that happened with the plague upon the land and all the things that came about after that. And just looking at the affordability index, Canada is so unaffordable, and it makes it look good to be in the U.S. Relatively. Curiously enough, the strength of the dollar may surprise some people, but it's actually very strong at this point in time. And if you are living in, say, the greater Seattle area, or if you're over in the Vancouver and British Columbia area, there's a huge difference in cost of living and income. People in Canada really have it tough, and we love you guys, and we are pulling for you. Indeed we are. And yet we're pulling for the whole world too. When you look at all this is just a sign of a sick world, and it's undeniable. And of course, the system, nobody's happy with the system. So right now they're in that appeasement mode, and they're trying to say, hey, we're going to make some serious changes here, and we're going to make you guys happy, but it's still going to be the system, and they're just swinging the pendulum left and right and left. So this is a little meme here. This there's quite a few meme czars out there, so to speak. This is the meme czar. There's a lot of interesting little memes going out. Canada would join the U.S., and if you add Greenland in too, then it would be the largest. It would be the largest country on the planet. And we're seeing things get remade again. The Pluto return of the U.S. on 2022. It's all about remaking something anew, and it could go in many different directions. This is how timelines work. There's so much possibility, and we do live in a multiverse. I do totally believe that. Again, when you look to the Hindu scriptures, they clearly give us a picture of our holographic reality, our fractal reality. They make clear statements again saying that there are many humanoid species out there in our universe, and there's all sorts of life out there, and it's been here. In fact, again, Vimanas. There was a question I had asked about a little island with a little house on it in the middle of nowhere. What's the one thing you would bring? And one of our family members said, I would just bring my Vimana. That way you could hop off any time. Vimanas are a very interesting subject. So here you have French President Emmanuel Macron accusing Elon Musk of election interference. Directly intervened in elections, including Germany. Who would have thought? If we had been told that one of its owners of the largest social media sites in the world would support the new international reactionary movement. The Weefers, their agenda is crumbling, so to speak. But again, you have to recognize there's an agenda that can be implemented. Well, I should rephrase. You can have agendas implemented by force, and then you could have them implemented by subversion. And really, at the same time, what we have still is the same sort of things coming through in a kindler, gentler manner. If I'm trying to make myself clear,
I think you're doing good.
Okay, so it's interesting. The polar psychic said he was viewing 2028, and he saw that the whole movement of Klaus & Co. is just in shambles and crumbles. It's a relic. It's dead. It's totally dead in the water. And yet he did see that the world had gone through a tough period with a lot of war and a lot of chaos. When people start to realize that everything that we are watching is really for entertainment purposes only, as is this video. It's just for entertainment purposes. Here you go. This is the CyberTruck guy, they say. There he is, right there. Matt Berg, shortened version of his name. And the guy that he was appearing with on, again, a reality TV show, saying that's not him. That couldn't be him. It just doesn't make sense. It's interesting. He's not the only one that was acting on a reality TV show, so to speak. No, we've again seen that so many of these people that seem to, do things that are inexplicable and crazy and very, very negative have made appearances in the media. It's all, the politicians are only for entertainment purposes for the human population on the planet. And here you have Bob Lazar. And it's amazing to me, too, that people are so compartmentalized in what they look at. And, again, you grow up in one system and you never get curious to think outside of the box. But this is part of what the system does. It keeps us so occupied with staying on that wheel to keep everything going. And it gives us our goals and objectives. Back in the 50s, everybody was sold on, having the American dream, right? It's after WW2. You gotta have a Leave It to Beaver life, right? If you're a guy, you want to find June Cleaver for yourself, and you're gonna have yourself 2 kids or 3 kids or whatever it is, and dad's gonna go out and work and bring home the bacon, and then the reality changes, and all of a sudden everybody's got to go out and bring home the bacon. And then all of a sudden, that paradigm is just dissolved. And, this is what they do. They always keep us occupied. Look over here. Just focus on this so you don't notice what's going on over there. And so the CyberTruck bomber talks about anti-gravity propelled drones from China in his manifesto. Anti-gravity drones being mass-produced would be, wow, mind blown for so many people at this point in time. I think, again, most people in this world will have their minds completely blown by the time we get to 2030 in one way, shape, or form. Again, it's not Bob Lazar that's just, he's the only one that's ever revealed this technology. There's a million people out there that have read about this. Millions have understood the advanced technology that is in play the whole time. But it's, again, the compartmentalization that they do, which is, again, something they do in the military. You're always on a need-to-know basis. It's above your pay grade. And they do it in this, FBI's, the CIA's, the MI6, Mossad. It's governmental. It's part of the pyramid. It's just part of the pyramidal structure of the true control system that's on the planet. Because if everybody had the knowledge of what's really going on different levels from different perspectives, this would be a problem. You wouldn't be able to manipulate people the way they manipulate. So teachers don't need to know how to read in New Jersey. As you see, New Jersey teachers no longer required to pass basic literacy tests. This is Act 1669. Individuals seeking an instructional certificate in New Jersey no longer need to pass basic skills for reading, writing, and math. I've seen tests from the 20s and 30s that were given at the 7th and 8th grade levels that probably most of our college grads would not be able to pass. Because, again, how many people could even just do longhand calculations and things like that without the aid of a computer or a calculator? I think so very few. They purposely want to dumb us down, and we have hit the pinnacle of being dumbed down, that's for sure, but now it's going to go in the other way.
I know, and so many schools they don't even teach cursive writing anymore, so it's going to be like a written code for older people. We'll be able to write in cursive and nobody will know what we're saying. But this is where I really push the homeschooling. I think that's the absolute best thing any parent can do for their child, even if it brings about certain hardships. To me, it's absolutely worth it to be right there with your child to explain things, because the free education system, if you don't put your child through this so-called free education system, you can get in trouble. But if you are right there to explain things step by step by step, you can have a child who is very much awake, who can do all the things, who has all the opportunity in the world to have things explained to them, so they have a wider, more worldly view. Plus, anymore, I just think it's safer to keep the kids at home, homeschool, get with other moms. Other moms are out there to help. Gather together, lock arms, and just do what you can to help each other. We did that a lot when my children were little, getting with other moms to, for even babysitting when you had to work. So we would kid pool for work and for homeschooling. It's like you have to pull out this survival instinct for your children. Otherwise, it's hand them over to the state. And anymore, that's just getting really frightening to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody needs to be heavy metal detoxing. Again, aluminum can interfere with our cognitive abilities, and it's being put up in the sky every single day. It's not debatable. It's just a reality, and it's not the only thing. Again, there's farmers that have made note of soil samples showing incredibly high levels of aluminum and other things. Again, we find lead sneaking into things. Do you know there's problems with lead and drinking ware? You should when you put in to search for a new set of glasses, put in lead free, and I mean drinking glasses. Again, they've stuck things everywhere they possibly can in order to slow down our intelligence and literally to halt the growth of our intellects. This is exactly what's been going on for the longest time. And yet here you go. You got JB. It's not the original JB. We all know that. There's JB that signs with the left hand. There's JB that signs with the right hand. There's the grumpy one. It's just so obvious, and we know they could do this with just simple masks nowadays, let alone the cloning technology, which is very, very real. Oh, there's magic in the background. Yeah, they're all actors. Even our athletes, our professional athletes, are actors. This is all isn't that Bill Nye, the science guy? He's an actor. They're all actors. And so Hillary is winning her Academy Award, so to speak. Yeah, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, highest civilian honor. And meanwhile, over here, as it's rebooting itself, George Soros, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and, acting in place of his father for best villain, George Soros. Hey, you did a great job, kid. You're going to be just like your dad. Keep it going, kid.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It is. That's what the reality is. It's acting, whether it's in DC, Hollywood, it's all acting, and yet it has real consequences. And then the good guy, whether we view him as the next Batman, the next Iron Man, what exactly, or is he a Dr. Evil? Is he all the above? Elon Musk AI raises $6 billion in new funding from who? BlackRock. Oh, yeah, BlackRock, where the CEO, Larry Fink, says, you have to force behaviors. At BlackRock, we are forcing behaviors. If you don't force behaviors, you're going to be impacted. Sounds like the social credit score in China. By the way, Grok has one. And, when you see, there's certain terms that just irk people now. This word right there is one that certainly irks me. You get so tired of certain phrases that pop out. And so, again, yeah, they keep rolling it out and then they deny on it. They deny it too. So we got the 38 out of 100. It seems like if you are a naughty boy or girl, you're going to get a 38 out of 100. Appreciate your engagement, but the nature of your posts and interactions might not align well with the platform's current emphasis on positivity and community norms. Well, we're absolutely positive that we need a change with the entire system, and it's coming whether they like it or not. That is the reality. They are not going to maintain control over the entire populace of this world. They're not. I mean, some are going to choose to go along with the system, as insane as that may be. But yes, they're not going to be able to control us all, and they understand this.
They do understand this, and this is the part where we help support each other and help hold each other up, because the system's not going to allow people like us to really get a foothold and make a huge difference. But I don't know. There's people out there who do some really good things to help others make headway. And then you have these owls here, and they're having a meeting, and they are really wondering about this feather. So they're going to do something about it. I just love owls. I mean, they're so inquisitive. I look at what's going through this guy's head. I mean, he is probably processing all possibilities. Like, is that feather going to even come out? I think he's thinking.
I think he's thinking, is it rude? But I have to do it. I just have to. I can't let them know that they're making a fool of themselves going out in public this way.
Yeah, like, I mean, maybe if there's like toilet paper out of your pants or something, he's just he's doing the best he can. He's really curious. Or is it a hat? Did she mean to put this in her hair? There's so many thoughts going on here.
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, this year is going to be one of the more dramatic ones that we have faced. As you look over here, business and finance, what's trending, stock market crash. I think this is the year that we will have some sort of transformation. They'll really begin to change over the monetary system, and that is one of their biggest tools to keep people in place is, again, taking away their ability to access their money, which is, again, an agreed upon illusion, because, we could go all the way to CBDC, and that's just numbers in the ether that can change arbitrarily. And you have to totally control those that totally have trust in those that control the numbers. I don't know how that's possible, and I don't know who would actually trust anybody, in the system that is controlling the numbers. So, again, tangible things. Make sure you have, again, all the basics: food, water, if any sort of first aid. Shelter, have everything in place to become as self-sufficient as you possibly can. Obviously, we understand there are taxes in this world, and when you own your land, you don't really ever own anything. But again, it's not the physical things that we take with us when we leave this world. It's our experiences. It's the learning. So it's not the tangible, it's the intangible. And yet the control system values the tangible over the intangible.
Indeed.
As always, much love and namaste.
Namaste.